Hello everyone, this is Anka of AGblend13 with another painting video. Here we are looking at a cat face made of hand-shaped aluminum, and it has been primed and I'm about to paint it with acrylics. This piece was the second in a three-part commission featuring the client's cats painted in fantasy colors. So of course these are gigantic portraits hanging on the wall where the kitties belong, looking down on their little human pets. So this kitty is a calico seal point sphinx, and to make her colors more fantasy, I just amped up her natural coloring. So she had a very pale, kind of pinkish skin, and so we made that hot pink, and then kind of those calico coloring made the orange really vivid, bright orange, and the dark areas made them purple, because that is the best way to make a fantasy shade of brown. At least in this case, the colors look very good together. And her eyes really are blue. I just amped up the colors a bit and used in the final coats metallic paint, so they have this really nice shine and flash from certain angles. So this is a little larger than our normal cat face size. Usually they're made out of a 12 by 12 inch piece of metal, but when I sketched out the Sphinx on a 12 by 12, it looked very nice, but it just didn't look like their cat, where she has this very long face. And I looked through my supplies and I found that we did have some longer pieces of metal, and I drew out a new outline. I said, do you want a little bit more accuracy with the face? And I think it worked out perfectly, because it really emphasizes her gigantic ears and just these these gorgeous proportions that a Sphinx has. It's so interesting to see their faces where they're not fleshed out by fluffy fur. Of course it's just the bare minimum cat, streamlined cat, and so it really makes those features look very exaggerated and large. And I think it's so fun. And it's also fun to paint those details, all the little inner ear parts. You can really see them. They're not hidden by all the little fluff. That did create its own challenges, of course, because painting fur, I have a workflow that it's very second nature at this point. And so Sphinx cats are very interesting in that they're not literally like naked bald. They do have fur, and they all vary, different lengths of fur, definitely. And so this girl, she has a very, very short kind of downy coating, and so it was just lots and lots of layerings of paint to establish that effect, where just tiny bit fluffy, just a tiny bit fuzzy, and then at the very end using a fine point brush to add those little details and those highlights around the eyes, around the nose, around the wrinkles on her forehead, and then her muzzle. And I think by the end turned out really cute. Oh my gosh. We did try to add her whiskers, because I did not know this, that she'll grow whiskers in the wintertime. And I think that's so fascinating, because I did contact her and say, let's just be sure, do your photograph. I don't see whiskers, but I know Sphinx cats can have them. And we tried to find a picture of what those whiskers might look like, but we decided, okay, most of the year she actually doesn't have whiskers, leave it as is. But that was a fun thing to learn. I had no idea there's like kind of seasonal whisker growth, and there she is. Oh my goodness, all done. Look at those big blue eyes. What a gorgeous girl. So she is in her home now, looking down upon all the humans. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.